to the debut show of the Sarge's Box Talk, where we will be talking about the sweet science of boxing. Anybody that's watched boxing, seen it, heard of it, you have to love it, right? So why not talk about it? And that's what we're here to do. So all you other boxing fans out there, I'd love to hear your comments, your suggestions, whatever you got. Post them. I'll put my email address up so throughout this show so you can send me an email. I'd love to do a little verbal sparring. I've never backed down, so if you can dish it out, so can I. But I love to talk boxing, so I definitely welcome any comments or any criticism. I mean, bring it all. I'd love to hear it. So to get started, talking about some of the previous fights this last week, there wasn't a whole lot on the plate as far as any of the smaller fights. But there was Friday night fights, which on the undercard of Friday night fights, kind of been the theme. Been the best fight on the card. And this week, last week, the week before, been great fights on the undercard, even better than the main event. And this week was no different, with Ali Ubali from France with a 20-3 record against Ashley Theopain from England. Both fighters, Ubali came in. This was his second fight in the United States. Theopain from England, this was his first fight in the U.S. Really limited competition between the two, but they had really pretty records, so you weren't expecting much out of the two, but boy, they both came to fight. Came to make a statement as their debut in the United States on TV on Friday night fights, and they definitely impressed. And it was, as a fan, you couldn't ask for more out of that fight. Toe-to-toe, it was a brawl for all 10 rounds. Ubali ended up winning the fight by unanimous decision. Did suffer a flash knockdown, but did get the decision, and as a fan, you couldn't ask for much more out of that fight. Main event, Delvin Rodriguez trying to make his comeback after getting knocked out by Jesse Feliciano. This was his second fight since then, fighting an undefeated but old at 41, Troy Browning. Rodriguez dominated the fight like he was supposed to, so no surprise there. He got the unanimous decision win, 10 rounds, but undercard fight was definitely the one to watch. Saturday, whole different story. HBO pay-per-view, Jermaine Taylor, Kelly Pavlik, fight of the year last year. That was where it was at. I wasn't able to watch it, unfortunately. I did watch some of my brothers there on YouTube were able to post a few things, a few rounds here and there, so I was able to watch a few rounds, but I did follow it round by round, and what a great fight. I was really surprised that it did go the distance. That did surprise me. But Pavlik, winner again by unanimous decision. As a fan, what more could you want than Kelly Pavlik? He's got a beautiful jab. His right hand can break any chin. I don't care whose chin it is. He'll put you down if he connects with that right hand. He's fun to watch because you're always expecting a knockout. So I guess in a way he disappointed with the decision, but it was still a great fight from what I was able to see and read. And like I said, I was a little surprised it didn't end in the knockout like last year when Pavlik knocked him out, and this was Taylor's first fight after being knocked out for his first loss of his career, but he ended up staying on his feet, so you got to give him props, I guess, for that. But Pavlik remains undefeated, and looks like he's going to be defending his title in June against John Duddy, so I definitely look forward to that. Duddy is an upcoming and undefeated Irish fighter who looks good, so I'm excited to see that fight. Also on the undercard of the Taylor Pavlik was 2 fights at 115 pounds, so the little boys, they do throw a lot of punches, which is good, but the knockouts just really aren't there, and I don't mean to knock the little guys because I'm one myself, I'll admit, but just not a whole lot of excitement there. But on this undercard, wasn't too bad between Christian Mijares and Jose Navarro. They fought to a split decision victory. I'll get into that a little bit later. Kind of a funky split decision for Mijares, but he ended up getting the split decision. Also on the undercard was Fernando Montiel against Martin Castillo. Castillo was coming in as ranked number 1 in Ring Magazine rankings, and Montiel was number 4. Montiel dominated him. Knocked him down in the first round, then ended up with a beautiful body punch in the 4th round to finish it off. So Montiel boosted himself up to the number 1 ranked fighter in Ring Magazine rankings. So pretty impressive there by him. Upcoming fights this week: Richard Gutierrez on Friday Night Fights at 21-1 is taking on Miguel Vasquez with a good record of 20-1. This is the main event for Friday Night Fights. Gutierrez, his only loss was against Joshua Clottey, so really no shame in his one and only loss. The guy is a brute. It was a disputed loss. He comes to fight. He's a mean fighter, fun to watch. He has meaning behind every punch, so this should be a good fight, especially since Vasquez at 20-1, his one loss was his only fight in the United States outside of Mexico, and it was a loss, so this is his second fight in the U.S., and I think Gutierrez is going to make it his second loss. So I'm looking for Gutierrez to knock him out really early. Probably the third round is my prediction, so we'll see on that fight. But the big fight of this coming weekend with the replay of Taylor Pavlik is going to be Vladimir Klitschko up against Sultan Ibragimov. Klitschko, what more can you say about that guy? Ever since Emmanuel Stewart took over as his trainer, he's used his jab and right hand to perfection. I mean, you ask Calvin Brock, ask Samuel Peter, ask Lehman Brewster. I mean, the list goes on and on. The guys Klitschko's just absolutely demolished. Chris Bird. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sultan Ibragimov. I mean, he is a champ. I mean, this fight is going to unify two of the titles, so that's a good thing in trying to unify all these titles and finally get a good, have someone kind of separate themselves from the pack, and I think Klitschko's going to do that. Ibragimov, he did win the title from Briggs, Shannon Briggs, who, if you can avoid one big punch from Briggs per round after the second round, then you'll beat him, because he throws one big punch per round after he gasses out after round number 2. So not really an impressive win against Briggs. And then his only other fight since winning the title was against a 45-year-old or 45-year-old Evander Holyfield. So Ibragimov really hasn't shown a whole lot in his quest for the title as opposed to Klitschko. The experience is by far to Klitschko. And looking at the two, they have one common opponent, which was Ray Austin. Ibragimov fought Austin, got knocked down one time, and fought to a draw against Austin, whereas Klitschko knocked out and absolutely demolished Austin in 2 rounds. So going off that, going off the size, the strength, the power, just the skill altogether of Klitschko, I really don't see this fight going more than 7 rounds. My prediction is KO in round number 7. So write that down. I would be so surprised if it goes the distance, but KO in 7 is what I'm looking for from Klitschko, and we'll see what happens. But real quick, my dishonorable discharge this week goes to a judge, not a boxer. Gonna, I guess, give it to a judge this time because it was so embarrassing on his part. On the undercard of Taylor Pavlik with Mijares and Navarro, he scored that fight 120-108, a pure shutout for Navarro. The other 2 judges had it for Mijares 9 rounds to 3 and 7 rounds to 5. So Mijares won a split decision victory, and the one judge that went against Mijares was a complete shutout against him. So how do you have such a flip-flop decision and a judge that goes a complete shutout for the loser? He should be banned from boxing, be banned from judging. Man, he shouldn't even be allowed in a boxing arena again. Keep your day job. We don't want to see you judging a fight again. That's embarrassing and terrible, and you need to get out. Like I say, please send me your comments, suggestions, email. I'll try and respond as much as I can, and I hope to hear from you, and I hope you keep on watching. I'll try and do this on a weekly basis. It's been fun. Like I say, I want to do this just as a fun deal, and I hope to hear a lot of you boxing fans. So until next time, you are dismissed.